Today, we're going to discuss how to beat press man coverage consistently using spread 4 wide receiver offenses like the air raid and the run and shoot. Press man coverage is designed to disrupt the timing of your routes. If your opponent is using a cover 1 blitz or a cover 0, then their goal is to force you to hold onto the ball longer, waiting for your receivers to get open, which should allow their pressure to get in easier. If your opponent is playing a cover 2 man, then they're trying to make it more difficult to throw the ball down the field. Press man coverage can be solid versus spread formations. If your receivers are unable to win their matchup consistently, it's going to be a long day for you. This is where you, as the offensive coordinator, need to manufacture open receivers. Let's first talk about formation theory. Press man coverage is solid versus spread formations, but very bad against compression formations. I have the defense set up to play cover 2 man, and I'm in the formation ace tight in the generic air raid playbook, also known as flanker close, which you can also find in run and shoot playbooks. This side of the formation is a spread alignment, which you can tell because these DBs are pressed and they have no problems playing cover 2 man on this side of the field. However, on this side of the formation, this is a condensed stack alignment. By default, these defenders do not want to play press man against this, because if they do, it's going to be very easy to get picked and spring one of these receivers free. But you're going to face players online who don't care and will press their defense anyways. When pressed, look how close these defenders are. If you're a run and shoot player, all you have to do is call run and shoot switch dig, where he runs that dig, he runs a wheel route, and someone's going to get open because you're going to cause these defenders to run into each other. Another thing press man coverage is weak to is motion, whether it's auto motion or you motion snap a wide receiver. This is because when a receiver is in motion, you take away the ability for this defender to jam him. In this example, I called the play 8, and I'm going to convert it into a scissors concept by motioning to bunch. He's going to run a corner route, he's going to run a hitch, he's going to run a swing, he's going to motion over, and then run a post. This defender is manned up on this receiver, but as you see, because of the motion, he now gets a free release. So the combination of making a bunch formation plus the motion makes this a pretty good play versus cover 2 man. Let's see what happened on that play. How did he get so open? That's what happened. Because of the compression, this defender ends up running into his other defender, which springs the post free. This is why straight man coverage versus a bunch formation is not good. Stack formations are also great against press man coverage, but what if your playbook doesn't have them? Well, fun fact, some formations will allow you to motion a wide receiver into a stack alignment. In this example, I'm using the formation gun green, also known as split Y flex, and I picked the play 8. I'm going to change this receiver to a short in route because against press man coverage, you don't want any type of curl route. It's better to use routes that are designed to run away from defenders. And I'm going to motion him in to a stack alignment. Normally, when you motion a receiver into a stack alignment, these defenders will back off and treat it like a true stack. But assuming your opponent represses their defense, this is what it will look like. Let's see how an 81 overall wide receiver cooks a 92 overall corner. We manufactured this opening because we understand formation theory. It doesn't matter how good this player is. If your opponent's going to play straight man coverage versus a stack formation, there's a good chance you're going to be able to spring someone open. Because my tight end continues vertical and my receiver breaks in, this corner has to fight through my receiver and his teammate, which allows him to get open. This is the benefit of using stack and compression formations against man coverage. They naturally create picks. The last practice mode example comes from the formation Ace Rip 4 wide receiver, also known as gun spread, which you can find in plenty of air raid and run and shoot playbooks. I called mesh and I'm going to motion him into a stack alignment. All I did was select this receiver and flick right on the left stick to bring him into this stack alignment. This receiver is going to run vertical and break on his out route. This receiver is going to run a drag. He's man-to-man on him. He's man-to-man on him. You're going to see the point where these two receivers cross, and this defender has to fight the traffic of these two players, which gets this drag free. Let's look at some game footage. I called mesh from ace tight weak, and we have the stack receivers to the left, and I intentionally put the spread receivers into the boundary just to condense the space even more. You're going to notice that X will get open because his defender runs into the defender manned up on the running back, and my opponent's user tries to chase this drag, only for him to run into the QB spy he set. This QB spy is actually doing more harm than good because that's one more defender that his guys have to go through. The defender manned up on this drag runs into the defender manned up on the running back, so now he's open. All he has to do is beat my opponent's user.
Throw on first down.
Remember how I said that QB spy was doing more harm than good? Well, his user ran into the QB spy. If he didn't do that, he might have been able to stay on this drag.
He's got him still on his feet.
Another concept that can give press man coverage problems is a switch release. So some type of in-breaking route by the number 1 receiver and a wheel route by the number 2 receiver. This is why I'm a big fan of Z shallow cross in the air raid offense. That's because a drag plus a wheel can sometimes get these two defenders to run into each other. Also, wheel routes in general are just good against cover 2 man because by default, cover 2 man defenders are in underneath shade. So a combination of the wheel being a route that can't be pressed, plus these defenders in underneath trail technique, means a wheel route can be difficult to stop if your opponent is playing cover 2 man and not changing the shading of their coverage.
In the second half.
Going up top again. Unloads it left. He makes a catch.
I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the next offensive system I'll be covering. I'm bringing my high school's offense into the game, and it's a blend of some air raid and run and shoot principles. This play comes straight from the playbook and is called 87 Oscar Snake. In our offense, the first number in the play was our type of drop and pass protection. 1 was a sprint out to the right, and 9 is a sprint out to the left. Whichever direction the QB is rolling, that side is the play side. The next numbers tell the receivers what route they're running in the route tree. So the first receiver, this X, is running an 8, which is a post. The second receiver is the 7. He's going to run a corner route. Oscar Snake is the backside concept. Oscar stands for option routes. Snake stands for switch release. I'm using Hawaii's playbook, and I managed to perfectly replicate this by using the play switch smash, which can be found in gun spread, spread slot close, and pistol spread. In our offense, queen was our 2x2 formation. So this will be queen right, 187 Oscar Snake. Here we have a switch release. S post, S digs, and wheel routes are really difficult for press man coverage to deal with. You're going to see this option route by square get open.
right down the middle.
In this example, my opponent's going to run a double bracket coverage. So these two defenders are responsible for this receiver, and these two defenders are responsible for this receiver. He's being pressed by a corner in one-on-one man coverage, and you're going to notice this S-post gets open.
Wants to go up top on first down. Throws to the wideout. He got it. Can.
Those are some strategies you can use to help be more productive against press man coverage. I encourage you to go through your playbook and see which of these methods you have available to you. Be sure to join my membership if you want to have access to all of my defensive content. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you'd like to see more content from me, and I will see you in the next video.